edit.
How exciting, to be talking about this from the Cobbler. Boy, what a concept. What was it when you read the script initially, and not even your role in it, but just the idea of walking in someone else's shoes?
Well, for me, when I first read the script, I called up Tom and I said, it reminds me so much in its feel, and the way it tells its story of It's a Wonderful Life. And the movie requires a suspension of disbelief. It is, in fact, a fairy tale, a fable, and it's just, it was so beautifully told. The script is, and yet I do have to say that reading the script, shooting the movie, and then seeing the movie was still a big surprise to me. So Tom was doing so much that we were not aware of.
Right.
But there are a few things I was drawn to. Yes, the idea of walking in someone else's shoes. But more importantly, I think for me is I'm a born and raised New Yorker, and I live in a city right now that is disappearing and no longer, well, no, it's not disappearing, but certainly the face of the city has changed already drastically, and it's only getting worse. New York was the great cosmopolitan mix and the socioeconomic mix, the ethnic mix, and we're now losing that, and you can't even be like an upper middle class person and afford to live in New York anymore.
Right.
So just that plot point alone was something that, especially because it's happening right now in my neighborhood, but directly across the street from my house, where they've taken down one of the oldest hospitals in New York, the one that kind of took in all the Titanic patients, and they have turned it into luxury condos at $4,000 a square foot.
Crazy.
So I liked that was his way in to tell his beautiful story.
Yeah, yeah. And then, you watch somebody like Adam Sandler, and I wonder, I always think about this, because whenever I see comedians play dramatic roles, 99% of the time, they really knock it out of the park. What is it about funny people that make such great dramatic actors?
Well,
yourself included.
Well, when you talk about comedians, I mean, yes, Adam did comedy albums and stand-up, but Adam's an actor. So I don't see a difference between someone like Adam Sandler. I don't think of him as just a comedian. I think of him as an actor, whether he's making Billy Madison or one of my favorite movies, Punch Drunk Love. So I think it's just, it's which of your tools in your toolbox do you want to take out and use? So he can use his broader tools or his more naturalistic ones. And when Tom told me Adam was doing the movie, I thought, wow, you know what? That is such an inspired choice. And I couldn't quite think of anyone else playing that part. Like, I thought about it and I thought, well, there really is no one else who's going to be able to bring that kind of pathos to the role. He's got such a big heart, Adam Sandler, and you see it on screen. And so as an audience member, even when he's doing the broader comedies, that heart comes through. And I think that's why those comedies are as successful as they are, because you really feel for Adam. And in a movie like this, if you don't really feel the pain of that guy, like in the very early scenes when you see his life, it's just,
and with his
it's
mother,
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And Adam does it, he's certainly very minimalistic in his approach, because it's all there. He really wears his heart on his sleeve as an actor, as the cliche goes, and it works.
Do you like playing the women who are a little bit more evil? Because I have to tell you, my friend, when I watched you on The New Normal, I could not believe the stuff that was coming out of your mouth. Like, honestly, for a network show, I'm so pissed that that show got canned, but that's a whole other issue.
I'm not.
Okay, all right, well, interesting. But I just loved watching you on that because I never knew it was going to come out of your mouth. It was awesome. It was awesome. Here you're playing somebody a little bit ruthless as well. I mean, a different. But do you like that? Do you have more fun with that kind of stuff?
I like being a villain. It's a lot of fun because, first of all, until you get killed or in jail, which ultimately will happen, except for the occasional film where they let the bad guy get away, which I also like. It's so much fun because you're basically the most powerful person in the movie up until you get your comeuppance. And that's always fun to do. And also, there are so many different interpretations of the villain. Like this villain, for me, I decided, well, because she is so powerful, and this is just one little part of her big conglomeration that she's in charge of. Who knows what else she does? There's probably a lot of drug money and guns and this and that and crooked market shifting and who knows what she's doing. But I thought, you know what, she's got so much power over this group of pretty heavy heavies, if you will. She doesn't have to push it, so I made her a little flirtatious villain, and she doesn't have anything to prove at all. She's a little sarcastic. She doesn't expect anyone in the room to be as smart as she is, and she doesn't think she's ever going to come up against anyone who's going to call her out.
Right. Yeah.
So she's got nothing to push. It's all part of the game. But she's very serious about what she does. But she certainly doesn't have to be a bad, she's not the heavy.
Yeah.
She pays people to be the heavy.
Yeah. Do you think that roles are getting more accessible for women over 25? Are you finding that? Or
No.
are you still having a hard time?
I don't think they're getting more accessible at all. I mean, I think it's nice to see when it happens. And I think there is a category called Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress at every award show. So yes, they have to have at least 5 good roles because quite frankly, if they didn't have that category, they probably wouldn't even have that. But no, I don't think it's getting better. And quite frankly, I don't think it matters anymore. If anything, I think it's getting worse because now you've got 28-year-olds complaining about the lack of good roles and men complaining about the lack of good roles. I think as the movie industry gets more and more, it's almost like what's going on with the economy. You can make a very clear analogy there. You've got 0.001% making these giant studio tentpole movies, which I love doing, by the way, but it's pretty much it's the only business studios are in nowadays. Occasionally a studio like Paramount will, make different types of movies, and that's wonderful to see. But, what are there, 5 studios left and then some mini majors that everybody's making the same movie. What's in my multiplex is now, it's on every screen, an Iron Man, a Spider-Man, or whatever it is. Not just 3 of the 18 screens, it's now every screen. Yeah. And then there are movies like this that, because they don't have that studio power behind them, it's very much, if you get lucky, you get lucky. But I'd venture a guess to say that, I mean, we don't know what happens yet, but say you made a movie just like The Cobbler, but say you made it for a studio and you still kept on the same budget. But they put their weight behind it. They put their weight behind the advertising. This movie could make a ton of money.
Yeah.
It has no demographic. It will be loved by 12-year-olds and by 82-year-olds, male, female. I mean, if you had a studio putting $25 million into P&A, you'd have a giant hit on your hands.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way
doesn't work
anymore.
that way, yeah.
So I don't think it's not only not getting better for women, it's not getting better for anyone.
In general.
Which is why you see more and more actors turning to television, not just because there isn't work in the movies, because we do still work. It's not as good.
Yeah.
And the interesting parts really are coming up on television. I mean, I've just been watching The Nick, the
it's
Steven
fantastic.
Soderbergh thing. It's fantastic. Why wouldn't Clive Owen want to do that? And he's offered great movie roles. It's fantastic. And you've got Steven Soderbergh directing for television, and you've got Robin Wright playing the
Kevin
role of a
Spacey,
lifetime.
all of
I
them,
mean,
yeah. It's
on.
fantastic. I know you said you didn't want to go back to TV and stuff, but
no, I did not say that.
or that show.
I did not say that. I would
Oh.
love to go back
Well, we
to
see
TV.
you back on Modern Family. You have a little opening there.
Oh, I did
little,
a thing.
yes. You were a good little sales
I would love to
real
go
estate
back
agent
to TV.
there.
I think I like the world of cable and the way with every season, they dig deeper and deeper and more surprises come. A show like Luther from the BBC, or even Boardwalk Empire and our shows. Veep, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And, you know, I think the cable thing is where I'd really like it better.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree with you. I'm a TV holic.
I'd have regular employment,
Yeah.
and I know I'd have a great role. And the crews are spectacular. Directors are coming on board to direct. Jodie Foster directed episodes of what? Orange is the New Black.
She did Orange is the New
Is that
Black.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Someone was I was reading something the other day where someone asked a filmmaker, it was Jason Reitman was asked, here, do you think there are going to be movies in 10 years? And it was a legitimate question. Because if studios keep going with just sequels, reboots, and then new franchises, will there be movies in 10 years? Or will we be streaming everything off of television? I mean, Netflix and Amazon, and it's pretty fabulous, you got to admit.
Well, I want to
Pretty
see you on one of
fabulous.
those shows. I would.
I do
oh,
too.
God, that would be fantastic.
That's what I would like.
I would like that too, and I just want you to keep giving us lots of stuff because you
Thank
were
you.
truly one of my most favorite actresses.
Oh, thank
and
you.
Honest to God, huge thrill for me to sit here and talk to you. I could talk to you for hours, but I know you would need to probably be other places.
Thank you so
thank you
much.
so much for your time, Ellen.
Thank
and
you.
Best of luck to you. And boy, do you ever look freaking awesome. That's
Thank
all I have
you.
to say. I aspire to look like you.